And we are live. It is 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, August the 19th, 2020. Welcome to NasCanucks, presented by Vibrant, or provided by.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm Ben. This is Doug.
Hey, I think this is about to be a fun week.
I think so too.
Because I got a feeling that if you people watching, if you liked the we'll say 2 degrees of separation from Jimmy Johnson to not winning, that's small to what we'll be talking about later on. If I had a tinfoil hat, I may even put it on.
I hear you.
That's how good this one is. Like,
just to preview what we got coming up on the show, we have race coverage from Daytona. We'll talk a little bit of Indy. We will be previewing Dover, and of course, a whole bunch of silly season action already happening. So let's get into Daytona. Well, let's go road racing at Daytona because we can't go to Watkins Glen. So, and include the trucks. And they're like, sure, yeah, we'll show up because they can't go to Mosport or Canadian Tire Motorsports Park or whatever the hell it's called.
Hey, you got that right.
Hey, Mosport.
Yeah. Well, Larry McReynolds keeps calling it Mosport anyway, so it's whatever.
Good. Well, it's better than if he was calling it Mosport. I hate that.
Yeah, he did sometimes say Mosport.
Yeah. That's how you know those who don't know. They call it that.
No, A. It's MOS, not MAS.
Yes, but it is an acronym or a shortened version of motorsport.
No, whatever.
That's where it came from.
Yeah. Okay.
Just saying that. That's what I heard from track sources.
Okay.
So we'll go with that. So Daytona, running on a course. They added a chicane outside of Super Speedway 4. Other than that, this is a track that I attended my first major race at. This layout when I was down there in 1993 for the Daytona 200 motorcycle race. A tricky track, I will say. The whole infield is very worn out, flat. Thankfully, they weren't running. None of the series ran in any pouring rain where you can have up to 2 inches of standing water. Oh, always fun. But yeah. So, what was the first race of the weekend? Was Xfinity, right?
ARCA was the first race.
Yeah, we didn't get to see that.
We didn't see Michael Self won that race.
Oh, cool.
And I think that was, from all what I heard, was that first sign that, you know what, it may not be that bad, because for a series known for wreckfests, they ran pretty clean.
Yep.
Sure, they may have been spread out, but I've heard that they did bunch up, and there was some pretty good racing. But yeah, so technically, Michael Self won the first NASCAR race on the Daytona infield road course.
There we are. Nice. So then, we get into Saturday with the Xfinity race, and these guys just came off running at Road America. So they're in full-blown road course mode, which happens. That series that's kind of been the month of August for, wasn't it like for a year or two there, they were running 3 and 4 weeks, because I think it was like Mid-Ohio, Road America, and Watkins Glen were all in August, or late July into mid-August. So that race, being my first chance to witness racing on there with stock cars, was pretty good. It was weird, though, because the initial start of the race that I was expecting didn't happen until one of the last restarts of the race, when you had the first 6 rows all bail in about 50 feet too far and just whoop, and whoever was running 13th went, okay, thanks.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it wasn't a bad race. I got to actually watch it live, so yeah, I didn't think it was a bad race. But
hey, Joe Hervey, good to see you, man.
Joe,
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Um, yeah, so I didn't think it was a bad race. Trying to think if there was no real road course ringers in there, because
Andy
Dinger's been,
Lally.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, and he actually did run pretty well
Yeah.
throughout the race.
Yeah,
Actually,
he at the end, but he was running top 10 quite a bit.
because I know you've had some kind of interaction with him sometimes, so I knew I kind of already put him in my head. But yeah, other than Allmendinger running for that other team that just slipped my head.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
The Leaf
driving the 16 car.
Yep. Which we'll talk about him a bit later.
Yeah. We will say if you cut the chicane, it could be quite unforgiving. I'm thinking near the end, one of the last cars to really cut it near the end of the race, damn near rolled their car.
Yeah.
Just launched it.
And now I'm trying to think who it was.
Was it the 18?
It could have been, but I'm trying to think. There was another guy who hit that one spot like probably 18 times, and even they're even joking on the broadcast that I don't know what his car is made of, but it won't come apart.
Right. Yes.
He just kept hitting it all the time, and seeing the way that ended up looking like, those guys aren't really good golfers because they don't replace their divots.
They do not. No, and I was surprised they had to have filled it in after each race, because if not, by the end of the Cup race, that'd be a trench. Like I'm surprised, you're not just digging in and you go to hit asphalt and it's like hitting a curb.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they said that they did do work on it overnight.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And which just reminded me of a rule thing, which we'll talk about during Cup coverage, because it involves your guy. So I got an idea on that.
Okay.
So
ho-hum, Austin Cindric won it.
Whatever.
We talked before.
I've got to the point now.
And now that I remember, it was Kaz Grala up at Canadian Tire that Cindric took out.
Right. Who did a great job on Sunday.
Oh, fantastic. We'll get into that too. So Cindric did that to Kaz Grala. And to hear him bitch and complain after, what was it, stage 1, about Briscoe and, he's going to get it back.
Yeah.
Dude,
well, that's what I was going to say. He was doing almost like that open wheel Tagliani move, like just dive bombing inside and just rubbing, using up people. Like, how many people did he slam door to door with? I'm like, this kid's a dick. Yeah. He'll fit right in at Penske.
Yeah. So,
which
so I thought,
I'm thinking that's why BK gets 1-year contracts. As soon as Cindric's ready to move up, BK's gone.
Yeah.
He's too nice.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so he ends up winning. And, it was unfortunate for Briscoe that he ended up, getting taken out. I was hoping Dinger could have come up there, but he had other issues.
Yeah. LeBay was getting up into the top 10, but then get taken out.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. There's a lot of torn up race cars, that's for sure, by the end of the race.
So, speaking of torn up race cars, then Cindric wins, and then after the race, the little guy stomps up to the other little guy, and I actually texted you right away. I was like, you're going to want to watch this right to the end. And I thought, absolutely great TV. Too bad the mics weren't a little closer to be able to actually hear everything perfectly. But I think Allmendinger calmed that situation down and gave everyone a good laugh.
Yeah.
Right? Because, Allgaier's just going off on him about how you did this, you did that, you did this. You wrecked me at Talladega. And Allmendinger's like, really? Talladega. I know it was my fault here. Like, it was totally my fault. And I think Allgaier said, yeah, it was your fault. I make mistakes too. And he's like, damn right you make mistakes. You make a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay, Allgaier, you're not.
You'd almost wait for him to say the line like, "There's a reason neither one of us have a cup ride."
Yeah, it's like, Allgaier was all he had was to lose that argument once he started talking. Yeah. And he's like, and then he goes, I'm done. And Allgaier's like, "Are you done? Really? Are you done? Are we finished? Okay, run away." And the other thing I laughed at was in the booth, Junior really didn't stick up for him.
Nope.
Junior just said, "Hey, that was racing,"
Yeah. It's for someone who's literally got his hands in there more than probably anyone else in the booth, because Jeff Gordon claims to be independent, but Junior is like one of the most unbiased because he's just a race fan.
Oh, it's the same thing when Noah Gragson.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, doing, Mark? When Noah Gragson wrecked someone, Junior's like, "That was pretty stupid."
Yeah.
It's like, it's your team. You're supposed to be the one sticking up for your team, but it's like, hey.
Yeah, I'm not defending that.
It's like I was watching back my like I would say my first race was August, fall race in Michigan, and it came up again there because that's when Junior had just started his team, had Robbie Gordon, and he had Robbie Gordon on his Dale Junior download, and he Junior were on to win the race, but Edwards was in first, Robbie Gordon was in second, and Junior kind of came up behind them, and Junior was like, "I wanted to wreck him." So he got to the back, Edwards got a little loose, Junior got in the back of them, Edwards cut left, took out Robbie Gordon, like Junior's car, right? And Junior's like, "I really wanted you to win the race, but I wanted to wreck him to win the race too. So I wrecked him and I won the race." Right? It's just like, okay.
Just thinking of Robbie Gordon, I always think about that time with him and Michael Waltrip when they got into it, and then Mikey's like, "Yeah, I guess it was half my fault. I agreed to race with you."
Or there's Robbie's time in Montreal when he didn't want to give up the win, so he just stayed on there racing.
Yeah, he just kept racing, including doing dual burnouts, dual victory laps, standing there off camera waiting to be interviewed. It's like, "Oh, we'll interview you."
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Yeah. So in terms of racing, TV here went a little backwards. The trucks did go first on Sunday.
Yeah, we can talk about them first.
And I got to say, SiriusXM, I messaged you that, hey, look, it's actually on now. It's not on tonight.
Right.
So I got to listen to that race coming home. So I was able to listen to it, then watch it later on. And I got to say, SiriusXM, get your crap together because you had Johnny Sauter out front most of the race whenever Matt Crafton was in. Because they're saying how Crafton's in the lead, but I'm looking at my dash and it says 13, and I'm like, it's Johnny Sauter, I think.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, the poor who's driving the 98 for Thor Sport?
Oh, that's his teammate, right?
Yeah.
Enfinger.
Yeah.
Grant Enfinger.
Did pretty good considering the chassis he was driving was 15 years old. Because they said, what was it? The last Crafton won it in 2009. Then we kind of put it in the back of the shop. I'm like, geez, don't tell the kid that.
He's not a kid. He's an older guy.
Well, yeah, but compared to his teammates, he's still the kid.
Was he not on the? We talked about him that the kid finally beat Kyle Busch, even though Enfinger is a couple months older than Kyle.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but compared to Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton, he's the kid on the team.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So it's all relative. So the start, poor Zane Smith. I had to rewind the start because I'm watching into turn one, and all of a sudden the camera pans right to show poor Zane, who decided to brake about 20 feet further in than anyone else, because here's the field, and they're tracking the field. All of a sudden, he shoots off camera. I thought he had brake failure or something, but no, he just cooked it, and he went from first to last in one corner.
Yeah.
Poor
Well,
guy.
I think that was his first time on a road course, if I'm not mistaken.
See, he's been watching a lot of who is it? Chase Briscoe tape. Wasn't Briscoe did basically the same thing at one doubleheader weekend. Won the race, the next race, just canned it the first lap.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no, that was a truck to Xfinity race that Brandon Jones did it.
Right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he won the truck race, first corner at Pocono. First corner. I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Rub it in. That sounds good.
I haven't eaten yet. I'll be down here doing stuff till about 10. So yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So there was that.
So once again, I'm just going to say it right now. The truck race was the race of the weekend.
They seem to be like I've always liked the truck races because it's
action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, remember they used to always say there was always more action in the truck races because they were not even half the length of a cup race, but there was just as much action. You know, that was the thing for years and years because, well, they got to get on it right from the start. They don't have 500 laps, you know, and yeah, we were talking off air. We had a great contingent. We had 3 Canadians in the field.
And you can tell that the sponsor stayed with them.
Yeah,
they're supposed to be this weekend.
Yeah, and I will say one Canadian had a good race.
Yeah.
Stuart Friesen, the first time they talked about it near the race was when he had the hood up on pit road. I was like, oh, that's not good. Okay. I was wondering how he's doing. And then Alex Tagley, it's funny. You watch a Pinty's race, right? You got your favorites, and for those who don't know, Pinty's is NASCAR Canada. You got your favorite drivers. You got the guys you can't stand. But when those guys you can't stand go south of the border and run with the big boys, we always root them on.
Yeah.
But, damn it, Tag. First of all, I didn't know you were still racing. And they said it was the first time you'd been racing in a year, and that was clear because
we haven't raced any up here.
Yeah, exactly. And brought his sponsor Rona Hardware along with him, or construction for those who know.
I'm wondering how many people south of the border thought that was like a coronavirus.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah. But that was a Rona.
That's why they're down here, because of the Rona.
Yeah. So yeah, and Tag being typical of Tag, allowing his temper to get the better of him, gets just nudged a little, and then it's on. I'm wrecking the whole field. Like Cindric on 11.
Yeah.
I was like, "Come on, Tag!" I said to you, "I'm like, come on. This is why you don't get a good ride." Now, granted, 2 of the 3 KBM trucks were Canadian drivers.
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. And so, as I said to Doug, it was probably Tag had a 1 race deal to run up at Mossport. Since that race isn't happening, bring sponsor because Kyle may have already spent the money.
Yeah.
Bring them all down. So Tag got to race for 1 afternoon, and that's going to take up a month of his life because he probably had to quarantine for 2 weeks down there and 2 weeks back.
Yeah. Yeah. But we like when they go down and they race the big guys.
We do. And,
they struggle. They struggle when they're down there for some of them.
Yeah. Usually they're not the best of equipment. Can't say that this week. They all, because even Friesen, that 52 truck, it's usually at least a decent mid-pack truck,
especially for a small team.
Yeah. And a lot of great racing. Who was it? Well, it was the 2 Canadians out there bump drafting around the super speedway portion. Yeah. They just hooked up the one time, and all of a sudden they're 5 miles an hour faster than everyone else. I'm like, sure, why not?
Exactly, yeah. But
yeah, it's definitely a good race.
Sheldon Creed won that one.
That's it. Yes, but what a great finish too.
Oh yeah. And you gotta feel bad for Christian Eckes, the other KBM driver, who just, I think that was his first time on the road course, but then you just see him get out of the truck afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just take a seat.
Well, first of all, he gets turned coming to the finish like it's a super speedway race. Like, what the hell was the point of that? So then of course the nose hooks and it whipped him right. Like you could tell it had that one of those quick pirouette things going on.
You've seen the nose still sticking out of the ground when Creed did his burnout afterwards.
Oh yeah. And then he got out, and you could tell. Like, I think it was a combination of heat and he get banged right because he was favoring his left leg. He was limping, and then he couldn't get his balance too. Which, good luck. Yeah. You know, you're lightheaded. You're trying to stand on 2 feet, let alone one. Then he's just like, come here, guys. I'm not coming to you. You're coming to me.
Yeah.
But some good racing, definitely in the trucks. And then they got that out of the way nice and early because
they had a lot of
Florida.
Yeah.
And so they start the Cup race, and just when they say, look at those clouds over there, and Letart's like, hey, we got rain tires. Even though the Cup Series has only ever done one practice at Watkins Glen in the rain, we have the tires. Yeah. And no sooner does Steve say that, and all of a sudden, red flag because there's lightning in the area.
Shut up, Steve.
Yeah, shut up, Steve. Yeah. If you're going to talk about the weather, at least go on, put on the foil hat, talk about the vortex like DW will, which is actually true because I've seen it.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know how you can get half a vortex on that track.
Yeah.
Because you lose it in the one corner.
But a few drafty areas at the ends of the track.
Yeah, so I thought Truex was on it. That start of the race, he was the car to beat.
He did have a good car,
I'm biased, but I think he is probably the most complete driver in the circuit right now.
Yep. Well, and again, it was one of those deals, I think it was one of the Team Hendrick in the booth, type thing. And I don't understand, Mart, he had that snowmobile win, but he's always been competitive on road course. Don't know why. And then I think it was Jeff Burton's like, it could be running Busch North that has a significant amount of road courses in the series and has years of go-kart racing. So chances are he's probably running the rain too.
Yeah, and then unfortunately had that one issue on the pit stop right before at the end of the stage.
Which I was going to say. So this brings me to my idea. So he got a penalty for exiting pit road too fast, which is a pass-through penalty.
Yeah.
However, you come around with 2 laps to go on stage, the pit road's closed. It's closed to servicing your vehicle. Why can you not still do a pass-through?
Exactly.
Right? Like, there it is. Let them do the pass-through. Like, even if you do the pass-through with 1 to go or at the checkers, even.
Yeah.
Because time and scoring is at that. Well, not at the checkers because it should be the full penalty, the full length of pit road. But, even if closed or open, why not?
Yeah, because no one's on that other lane.
Nobody's using pit road in any way, shape, or form. Let's do it.
Exactly. I honestly was thinking that too because it just, and even the guys in the booth said, pitting in a pass through, he's going to go back to maybe 12th, 13th. But doing it under caution or under that caution there,
tail end of the field
with the Yahoos, right?
Exactly.
But then he did a great job at coming back up through.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to go into the back there. He's winning that race.
Yeah, and also there's another side. Tail end of the field. How about tail end of if you're on the lead lap, tail end of the lead lap, like you'll be the last person scored on your lap because when you've got those 3 or 4 cars out there that are clearly not up to speed, that are down, geez, this is the truck race. It was 44 laps, and one of the trucks was 15 laps down.
Yeah.
What's the point? You're 30, 40 seconds off the pace.
Yeah.
So why get bunched up behind those guys? So immediately you have to dart around. Well, you're going to pass them within 200 yards of the start-finish line anyways. Just put them up front of them.
Yeah. So,
but hey, what do I know?
yeah. So then it wasn't then, wasn't all that bad of a race. I still think it was still enjoyable, I think.
Yeah, because it was different people at different times up front. Thank you to the guys going for the win that decide to pit at the end of each stage, because instead of getting 1 or 2 points, Clint there was scoring 7 or 8 after each stage. And that was the thing. Like, I was like, oh, I hope he doesn't pick, because they were showing the points, and Clint was like 48 points above the cut line, which is, I think he's going to be in, barring catastrophic.
I think so too, yeah.
Right? So, and he's been hanging there in that 50-point cushion for a few weeks now. So he's competitive with the people around him. And I'm like, don't pit, don't go for the win. You don't need to win to get into the chase. Don't worry about that, which you and I both know. Both of our guys have had crew chiefs that go for the win. They got wins in their eyes and not think a big picture.
Yeah.
So thankfully, and so he stayed out and he did well on that. And he was pretty competitive until typical, late race. And all of a sudden, anytime there's 3 wide on a road course, Clint's in the middle. And his car ends up 6 inches narrower coming out of that corner. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Although I will say the one thing I do like about this track layout is they start beating and banging, in through the horseshoes and stuff like that. Well, you don't even know you've really got a problem till you get up on the speedway, and then all of a sudden the smoke just starts wisping a little more as the downforce kicks in. And all of a sudden they're like, by the end of one set of corners, they're like, I am coming in, like Denny Hamlin.
Yep. Or even Kyle Busch all day. Like,
have you ever seen a guy blow both rears and not doing a burnout?
Hey, they've always said he can drive the wheels off a car. He showed it.
Yeah, like Letarte could not figure that one out, and usually he's pretty good at diagnosing a problem. He's like, I don't know, like one tire blew apart something under the car that shot into the other tire, because he's like, well, he probably blew a tire and then ran over debris with the other tire. I'm like, they're next to each other and moving. That's are we talking the magic bullet theory, like a piece of debris shoots forward and around?
It's that second spitter from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The other thing is, what I couldn't believe is that tire did not rip apart.
Yeah.
How did that stay on? Like, usually that carcass is flying off. It stayed on. Like, they glue that sector on.
Well, that was the thing I know. Yeah, like a few guys that were burning up rear tires coming around, you see it looping around. You just wait for it to catch and start ripping out the brake lines and everything else. But the carcass would either pop out eventually, but they kept saying those Goodyear tires were so damn hard. I'm like, no kidding. Even with no air pressure, they're not ripping apart.
Mm-hmm.
Which led to less crush panels get taken out, whatever.
Yeah. So,
but again, those guys, they don't replace their divots either.
No, and I'd message a friend that was like, you know what, we need a caution here. We need a caution for Truex and the other guys to kind of catch up to the little idiot. And then that was Kyle's. I was like, thank you, Kyle. And then that led to that last restart. And my issue with the last restart was Truex started behind Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch the video, Johnson hit the brakes instead of the gas. Like, he stopped dead. And that Truex lost all of it because only car that was going to beat Chase was Martin.
Gee, do you think it could have been team orders? Because it really fucked up Clint's day too.
Yeah.
There's anybody that was in that row.
Yeah. Sure, you're happy with the top 5 because you finally had one after 83 weeks. But, Yeah.
Because he managed to finish a race.
Yeah. So
in one piece. Yeah.
So Truex, Elliott wins the race. What was it? Hamlin second?
I think so.
Yeah, because Harvick spun out. Harvick was way back. Hamlin second, Truex third. So that's, everyone's like, Chase is going to win next week because he's going to be on the pole at Dover and he's good at Dover. There's a dude starting third who's freaking owned that place. Right? He's already got 3 wins there. It's a home track.
Yeah, when I think of Dover, I don't think Chase Elliott. Just off the top of my head, I think Truex, Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson. I will not count out at Dover.
No. But it's still been 3 years since he's won there.
Joey Logano.
Yep.
And Keselowski, although he never finishes, he doesn't get the finishes, but Keselowski, if he stays in one piece, dominates at Dover.
Yep.
Roush cars, they don't do so well. We've seen more Roush cars roll at Dover.
Yep. So that was that for the races. And the other thing I liked at the start of the race, for the Cup race at least, is they let Ryan Newman come on the radio. Because he wasn't able to address everyone at the track staff
right
beforehand, and they let him come on the radio and kind of say his piece. I really like that.
Thanks for keeping me alive, folks.
Yeah.
I agree.
So on to some other stuff now. So some more stuff, some other stuff, but about what we just talked about. So I'm hearing some people this week here talking about we need to put Daytona maybe on that course, or we need another road course.
Right.
So someone
I can give you 5 road courses I'd like to see on the schedule, but
yeah. So someone says, well, we need to put Road America on the course. The announcer I like to listen to said, well, how are we going to do that? Because in order to put Road America on that course, on the schedule, we need to take a race away.
Right.
NASCAR owned track is not going to give up one of their spots. SMI is not going to give up one of their spots. And so someone called in and said, well, why don't they just go and buy that track?
Oh, okay.
Do you know who owns that track?
No, I do not, actually.
Coincidentally, it is a Spanish financial institution.
Oh, okay.
So Road America is not owned by an American. It is owned by the Spanish. So, So it's, and I don't think they're going to give up their cash cow because there's a lot of stuff there.
There's a lot of land there because that's a big track. One of the larger tracks in North America.
The financial institution is not going to give up their cash. And the other thing that's out there has been Chicago is going to lose their race because there's some big new developments being made around the track. There's some big industrial stuff that's going on, people are saying, which I'd heard about this a couple months ago. And I heard that it was shot down a couple months ago. And Moody again shot it down this week, just yesterday actually, when someone said, hey, my inside source, and Moody's like, your inside source sucks because we knew about this a while ago. So what's happening at Chicago is they have a ton of land.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had much going on there. So what's going on is in one corner of piece of land that has never been used for parking, camping, anything. It's just land. There's going to be a storage facility set up.
Sure.
And people can rent storage there. So they're going to be making money on that land that's just sat there for
sure.
Ever. So Chicagoland is not losing their race. They're not shutting down. They're not doing anything.
Okay. So if it's a self-storage place going in, you get
how many
one.
Are going to be stored in there?
Yeah, there's your whole infield deal.
Yep.
Like you can have your trailer a la Grant. That's, it's good for about a 5-mile haul each way.
Yep.
Like barely. Like if the tires hold air long enough to pull it out of the storage unit and put it, in the infield.
Yep. And so then the other thing I heard talked about was, especially with Brad Gilley and Jeff Hammond were talking about this the other night. And it really got me thinking. They were talking about how they would like to see a possible race with maybe all 3 series on there at once. I don't know if 120 cars or vehicles.
Well, I floated that to you. Like if you did an endurance type race at Daytona, like it has to be a big track, Road America, Daytona.
So the Daytona road course. And so then I would start thinking, and I was like, what if they did this? Because it was someone else that called in another really stupid idea. Absolutely stupid idea. But I'll get to. What if we did the Busch Clash, and instead of having just the 20 Cup cars on the infield course or whatever, like they're doing next year,
Right.
why don't we change it up? And let's give the top 15 from each series, right? Or say top 16 or whatever.
Sure.
So or whoever makes the chase, we'll say it that way. Whoever makes the chase in each series next year, all three of those series, those top drivers who made the chase, have added in the Busch Clash. Sure. So you have three a la Daytona 24-hour race. You have three classes in one race out there, but you're not going to have over 100 cars on the track. You're going to have roughly 30, kind of 40 cars out there, same as a regular race. Yeah. I think that would be more interesting to fans.
Well, the only way, if you were going to do all three classes at once, you'd have to work it out. Cup team service. You got to service a vehicle from each series. Each team does. Do it how you have your prototype, prototype in GT. If you're doing a standing start, say for instance, prototypes take off. They wait 10 seconds or so. Next class takes out. You do a staggered start, so you don't have 100 coming to the green all at once. But something like that, I think it'd be wild. But it has to be an endurance race. None of this fucking stage shit. Because you're gonna have to be able to.
We'll have if it's just that if it's the top 16 from the Cup, top 12 from Xfinity, top 10 or whatever it is from the Truck Series.
Right.
We're gonna run for an hour and a half. We're gonna run for an hour or run for an hour and a half. Yeah. Have at it. Here you go. And since you got that small amount of cars, each team can still have their own pit stall because there'll be enough stalls.
Yep.
Right? And you got enough cars that we got the Cup guys start up front. Then we're going to have the Xfinity guys in the middle and the Truck guys at the end. And you can stagger them out like they already do when they're set in the field.
Yep.
Right? On the parade laps. You can already just have three cars out, and there's enough room that those guys can go. The next guys come up, pit.
But if you did just the chasers, that's 38. That's a regular field, anyways. Then I would say let's do a 10-minute qualifying. Like a road course, you go out, set your lap.
Yep. You
could have a truck that could beat, an Xfinity car. You could have an Xfinity car that beats a Cup car. You lay down that good lap. Oh, I was caught in traffic. I didn't get a good lap. I'm stuck at the back of the field. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's that. Then for the stupid idea, there's I think idiot is a very kind word for this guy. Why don't we have the Gatorade duels on the road course before the 500 to set the field for the 500?
That wouldn't work. Those cars aren't built to turn right, first of all.
Well, because then it would give the smaller. This guy's reasoning. It would give the smaller teams a chance at making it, because it wouldn't cost them as much.
Right. I'd like to point out the restrictor plate racing is the second easiest way to be competitive alongside road course racing, because every year, every race, how'd that guy get out front?
Yeah. Well, I know. So I said idiot is being nice to this guy.
Yeah.
So
before we get too late in, we should mention, hey, we got a second viewer. Yay! Hello, second person. I wanted to talk about Indy briefly. So they're out there. Yep. Jeff Gluck has been doing a lot of tweeting out of Indy each day. And it was interesting. They're out there. They're running. They're trimming out the cars. They're not quite fast enough. So let's turn up the turbos. So they were running at 235, 237. We had a variety of sessions. Long story short, because I didn't watch a lot of the coverage or read up on a lot of it, Marco Andretti is sitting on the pole. And yes. I do believe Canada's James Hinchcliffe is, in fact, in the field.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anyone's been bumped from the field, because conveniently 33 drivers are registered each year.
And I've heard that Cole has done laundry, so he does have T-shirts now to wear.
Yay.
I think I've heard.
Yeah. It was interesting where you see like NASCAR quite often runs without a full field because we've known about a maximum number. Hey, Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
We know there's a maximum number of participants, but you never hear what the maximum number of entrants is in an IndyCar race. Mm-hmm. A lot of road courses, I believe it's 28, although that may have changed. But as you know, the amount of times for decades at this point where they're literally every team owner enters twice as many cars. And traditionally, you did that back in the day. You would run a 1 and a 1A because one car, because they were so on edge that one might work, one might not. But as a result, like how many times we hear of a guy getting a phone call that day, hey, you got your fire suit? Come on down the speedway. We got an open car for you.
Yeah.
Just to fill out the field of 33.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that is on Sunday, I believe?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, and as Marco has said during the, one of the things I was watching, he's hoping that the May Andretti curse at Indy does not pop up in August.
This is true. Yeah. Yes. So we shall. That's why I don't make a big deal out of an Andretti on the pole because, yeah, it's a very famous name, but they haven't really had any success there in 50 years or 40 years, 50 years.
So,
yeah,
on to somewhat silly season stuff. To start off, we'll go into this slow. So.
We'll do the legit stuff first that we know confirmed has happened.
Okay, we'll go into some. I want to touch on some first. For you, Kyle Busch haters out there, that you want to talk about, hey, he's this guy who won the championship last year, and he can't win a race this year.
Here goes half our audience.
Yeah. So hey, he can't win a race this year. He's not a good driver at all. Well, it's been done once before.
And I called it.
You called it. Yes, you didn't know the year, but you called it. It's been done once before that the winner of the NASCAR Cup Series in 1980 did not win a race in 1981.
And that would be?
God. Mr. Senior. Dale Earnhardt Sr. won the championship in 1980, did not win a race in 1981. And I'm going to say possibly, would it have been an easier time to win a race back then?
Yes.
Right?
But harder to get a competitive ride back then.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who he was with then, but whatever.
Because that was the thing. I think when he won his first title, then he switched to another team the following year. Or Rod Osterland was basically, once he won his championship, he basically had the team up for sale, so he wasn't putting any money into it the next year. There was something to that effect.
But anyway, there it is. So, that's right. So on to some other news. Start with the legit.
Okay, somehow we did go down to one viewer.
Mine could be legit too. But whatever. So the stuff you're starting with.
Yeah. So we did hear that is it Eric Jones is gone from Gibbs.
Yes.
And that Bell is in fact moving over.
Yep. Okay, we talked about that last week. Yep.
To the 20. Bubba Wallace is still not signed with anybody.
Nope.
However, there's going to be a new team coming in. Mark's back. Okay, so
new team coming in. New team coming in.
New team coming in, which that's what we need is some new teams in the series.
That came about on Friday because we were talking on Friday about this. Breaking news around the noon hour on Friday. New team coming in. Trackhouse. I'm not sure if it's Trackhouse Racing, Trackhouse Motorsports, but it's just Trackhouse. So they were in on the bidding for Levine Family Racing.
Right.
They were not successful. Spire Motorsports got that. So
right.
They did not.
And as I had said to you, okay, you said this is the new team coming in. And I said, well, if you're doing things right way, you get your financial group of owners, which is because it's usually more than one guy. You secure some sponsorship because you don't want to spend out of your own pocket as much as possible. Then you go after the charter.
So we didn't know that information when we first talked.
Right.
Then I should have waited 5 minutes longer, then talk to you, because then that all came out.
Right.
So it's came out what this new team has a there's more. It's more than just a race team.
Yes.
They want to do. So I'm going to have to switch windows here. I'm still looking at the switch windows because it's going to be. I'm going to try not to read as much, but it's going to be reading. So it is Trackhouse Racing. They are going to. They want to. So they're planning on kind of looping together motorsports with technology learning kind of stuff. So the precedent is to assemble a group of people to inspire U.S. minorities and underrepresented formative years inhabitants in a STEM program for learning. And so there was that there, and so we all of a sudden started talking about, okay, we need some owners. Who's going to drive this car? What are they going to have a driver? What's this? So we then found out that the ownership group is led by Justin Marks, former Xfinity driver,
right, and sports car racer as well.
Yep. So he's involved. Ty Norris is involved.
Right. Ty Norris, formerly of Michael Waltrip Racing. Prior to that, worked with DEI for a number of years. I forget what he did before that, but yeah, very, very solid name in the NASCAR industry, we'll say.
He just has some itchy arms sometimes. But so there's that. There's that. I can see it right there. So anyway, so there's them and some other people involved.
Yes.
But they're the two lead. There's some other smaller people. Okay. So they have this team. So they're trying to get sponsorship. Well, sorry, no. They're working to get a charter now from a team.
Right.
Okay. They do have sponsorship, and if I read it correctly, he already has a nationwide family leisure enterprise that's coming aboard as a sponsor. Whatever that means.
Right? Six Flags, Cullen Gardens, or whatever it is there, yeah.
So there's that. So now,
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes. So I think they're out of business, I think.
No, there's still one in Pickering.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, that one right by the 401. It's still there.
Okay. Cardboard Pizza's gone here. Yeah. But anyway, so in looking for a driver, okay, I should pick up my tinfoil hat, pick that back up, put this back on, because this is gonna get fun, folks.
Now, are you going to give me credit for naming this driver? And I just said it haphazardly because you said it. You said another driver, and I said this driver. No, because I said, wouldn't it be funny with all this minority base?
Well, I already had it in my head. I was trying to get you to guess. I already had it in my head. I was trying to get you to guess. So anyway, so we're gonna go for a driver. So let's take everything into account here. They want to do STEM learning.
Yeah.
They want to get into minorities and underrepresented people in learning, and to kind of get that word out there, to bring them into the sport.
Right.
Now, is there a driver out there who might be into helping spread that along?
I know a driver.
It could be, yeah, but they would have to have ties to NASCAR, have ties to maybe that team. Let's say maybe could possibly be an owner,
right?
A small owner.
Well, see, now this is the thing, yeah. See, and the funny part is when I named the driver, then you reminded me of a previous business arrangement.
There's been a business arrangement in previous for this driver. and somebody who would like to get back into NASCAR.
Yep. Who
Right.
we've been teasing possibly driving for Stuart Haas, perhaps.
But now this is like, boom, it's come. Because all I can say is I couldn't
You
find
heard
the
it here
part,
first,
so I
folks.
had to put it. So I had to put it. I had to print out another picture, which it was something else. So this is what I have right here. Larson Marks Racing rebrands to Kyle Larson Racing. Kyle Larson and Justin Marks have a history of ownership together.
That's right.
If they can get a charter,
also,
you got to get a comparative driver.
They've got a good fit because they've got a previous relationship. They're going to let Kyle still run dirt when he wants to.
Yep, because they were partners in those are dirt cars. That's Kyle right there. That's Shane Stewart in the car, who we actually saw win in Charlotte one night.
We did.
But yeah.
Yep. I remember because I was just like, Kyle Larson. It just made sense to me, like right away. And you're like,
you had said the other name first.
Yes.
Right. Which name everyone would have thought of? Oh, Bubba's going to be in that car then.
Right. Yes, because I went, are they going to go after Bubba? And then I went, oh, and then just jokingly I said they should get Kyle Larson.
Yes, because that came out like it was like, there's that relationship. There's that whole trying to bring that name back to clear all that other stuff up.
Yep.
There's that opportunity. Right. And it's, and if you're trying to bring in all those other people,
yep.
Larson is a minority himself. You can't,
just because people on Twitter say he isn't, he actually is.
Yeah. His mom may talk different about that situation. She may know a little bit of different situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the chips could fall that you could see Kyle Larson.
Yep.
In the Trackhouse Racing. And they're looking for the 2021 season, getting a charter. If not, they will just run some races. So if they run some races,
more dirt racing for Kyle.
You mean I can run a dirt car and a NASCAR car? Because NASCAR has said they will bring him back if he just applies for reinstatement. And it's just been the last week or two when somebody else was trying to buy Levine Family Racing that he said that he wants to come back. There's smoke and fire there.
Yep.
So yeah.
Sweet. Yep.
Yeah. So we're at like almost 50.
So who's going to drive the 42 next year?
I don't care.
You think I mentioned some field filler? Yeah, like who's Tommy Baldwin got running next year? You're like, I don't care.
I don't know who's you have running. He said he's run a couple races this year.
Yeah, I don't like. Does Ganassi even still have an Xfinity program?
Yes.
Who races for
them? The watermelon dude.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. And he can bring in the watermelon money.
Yeah. The family business.
Right.
Yeah. So
Target, McDonald's, and watermelons.
No, they don't have Target anymore.
Well, they don't have Target anymore?
No, Target left.
Oh, they saw that as an opportunity to just go.
No, Target left last year. It was
okay.
No, it was a McDonald's full year.
Oh, okay.
So
that won't be happening. They'll probably not be around next year as sponsoring. I don't think there's going to be a lot of restaurant chains having that extra $20 million in sponsorship.
No. So that's all I've got for silly season stuff. I don't know if you got anything else.
Silly season. No. I'm trying to think, guys. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot other movement other than no. No, I guess we got to wait for somebody to be named to drive the 95, assuming it stays the 95.
I think it's an Australian guy.
Right.
I forget his name now.
Oh, you know, one thing we said we were going to talk about it, but on Sunday in the Cup race, because we didn't mention it, Austin Dillon has COVID.
Oh yes. Oh, he's good. He's good now.
Okay, he's good now all of a sudden.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing how that happens.
Yeah. He's had
because they really don't want these guys out for 14 days. Everybody that tests positive isn't positive apparently, so they missed one race.
They just have to have 4 negative tests. And they're good.
So Austin out of the 3.
Yes.
We got Gralla stepping in.
Yeah.
And
for the first time in a Cup car, practice, no qualifying.
He was the best RCR car out there all day?
Oh, I would think so. Maybe Kaz Gralla.
Well, considering, it's interesting because I was trying to think the other day. One, how many cars does RCR field? And 2, who the hell drives them? Because you only see them if they're wrecking. Like, I know he's got the 8.
That could be true, Terry.
Yeah, it's possible. But, so, he comes in, gets in the 3, and he just puts on a clinic as the top driver for that organization.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the 8 ripped his front end off at some point. Because he can't stay. If he sees dirt, there.
Yep.
What are the other cars they have? The 3, the 8. They have the 31 anymore?
No.
29?
No.
So they got 2 cars?
We have 2 cars.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I thought they had at least 3 still.
No. It's been a couple years. They got 2.
Wow.
Okay. That's why I was saying that they're unsure why he doesn't bring the 31 back for Ty.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just figured, because the majority of their cars suck the pouch week to week, that you just don't see them on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the 41 or Clint most of the time.
So I think I will lead this off this week. Speaking of the 31,
yeah,
I left rear right in front of the back tire on the right side. Got the Granger. This was 2016 in Texas. April race.
Ryan Newman.
You can even see all the pitting and stuff there. So yes, this would have been where the rear tire was here on the right side. So All-Star race, the number would have been right here.
Yes.
But yeah. So that's
keep that for next year. So this week we're gonna have the number right here.
It's gonna be a Penty's car. Actually, no, it's Penty's car. It's not even have the number there. Then my other thing, wait a second, come down here, get my last beer out of it.
Nice. Welcome to those joining in late here. We've got 4 people watching apparently.
Nice. So, this is not the race winners one from this week, but it is one that I did win in an auction. But it is a nice little cooler that I have. Napa cooler.
Hey, Bent Tom.
The front, Toyota Camry, as you can see. I guess Camry goes that way. On the side, we'll block.
That is not where we put the number on the car.
No, but that will block that name right there. But you can see the Truex. It's the Michael Waltrip I'm blocking. So yeah, so we got the there, and on the back, we've got the Napa know-how and everything. Yeah, so it's a nice little cooler.
Yeah, as I recall, that's made up into a grandstand or 2 with us.
Actually, no. It hasn't gone in the grandstand. I wanted to, but then I was like, you know what? It's too pretty to not. We should not.
Too pretty for the grandstand.
Yeah. And then my only other thing I have here, since I couldn't find some of my other stuff, was when I was in Darlington, 2007. That's what my beer looked like. Dale Jr.
He was drinking Dale Jr. beer.
The other thing that's happened was the same weekend as this year, Dale Jr. announced that he was leaving DEI.
So that beer was cheap.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
My first two races, Dale Jr. My first race in Michigan, I talked about earlier, where he took out Carl Edwards for the win, and Carl had a big fight with him, and on pit road, I believe. And then the next race I went to, he said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm leaving DEI." I was like, "Okay, what's up for next?" And I think now that memory serves me correct, is my third race. I went to Charlotte, and something happened in the Busch race with Keselowski, and because Keselowski was driving for him,
right,
and then he went into Keselowski's defense. I think he took someone else out in the race. So it was like my first three races I was at, Junior did something.
I suppose the first few I was at, he didn't do much other than run out of gas.
Well, hey, he helps clear the parking lot sometimes.
That he does. Yeah, it's much easier to get out if.
Because it used to be when you seen Dale Jr. wreck, like halfway through the race, stands would be people just filing out of the stands.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Well, Junior's done. No need to stay.
Right. So I'm going to show, this is a 2003 limited edition Owners Series, Wood Brothers, number 21. Whoops. Tried to look around it so I can see where the hell I am on camera. There we are.
I know.
Which, it comes with the car in this nice big box. For some reason, they always send you a spare side window. Because it has a window in the side. There's a medallion, certificate of authenticity. This is one of 7,560, which, I'm sorry, they'd be lucky to sell 7,560 of these things. Because these retailed for over $100 US. No stickers on the tires. So it's got scuffs. But there's a nice shot of the car there. Working suspension. So yeah, very highly detailed. So there we are. Because I've got a lot of Wood Brothers cars. I've always been a fan of the Wood Brothers for pretty all my life. Because generally they have a character driving for them most of the time.
Yeah.
Kind of, after David Pearson. Let's get Kale.
Trevor Bayne was kind of bland.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Menard.
I couldn't go there.
There we go. Well, we've blown past the 1 hour mark.
We have.
Yeah. So who's your pick for Dover? Martin?
I was going to say, do you really need to ask? I'm going with Truex for the double.
Is it double this weekend?
It's double. Yeah. So we've got is it Trucks Friday night? And the Xfinity is doing a double as well too.
Don't they have lights there now?
They got lights for the horse track.
They can do a dirt. Let's run on the half-mile dirt track.
They can do a dirt race.
Better. Yeah.
Hey, hell, take off 1 and 2 on the asphalt. Oh, sorry, no, the cement. 1 and 2 on the cement, then you cut in and do 3 and 4 in the dirt. Come back out.
A mini version of the beach race.
Exactly. Hey, NASCAR, you want to race? Do that. Half and half.
Yeah, and I see that makes about much sense. Taking a super speedway car running on road courses. Let's take a car built for a high-speed, high-banked concrete track and put it on a flat dirt track.
Yeah, well,
And none of the cars make it through turn 1. They just go straight. It's a little tight. It's a little tight. So, okay, you're choosing Truex twice.
Yep.
I could just be a dick and choose Logano and Elliott, but I'm not.
And Denny's been good at that track too.
Yeah.
Harvick is good at that track too. It's just Harvick's owner wasn't good at that track.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Harvick might be bouncing back, but let's go with Hamlin and Brad Keselowski.
Not bad picks.
Yeah, we'll go with those two. So there we are. Anything else to add?
Anything else I got to add? No, I've got absolutely nothing. Just remember, Kyle Larson, Trackhouse, you heard it here first.
That's right. You heard it here first, folks. So there we are. Look forward to the action in Dover. We've seen some weird things happen at Dover, from cars rolling on a 1 mile track to Kenseth taking out the water barrels trying to pit because it's a treacherous pit road, because it's also a self-cleaning track. We've also seen one of the, I think, only 2 times in NASCAR history where the field got a timeout there in New Hampshire, where they parked the field for 10 minutes and just told them, calm down. Calm down. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I still wish it was 500 laps there, because that last 100 really wore on the body. But beggars can't be choosers.
We didn't even get into that about this weekend, like watching Kyle Busch. Like, he's a guy that's in shape.
Yeah.
The way he was sucking wind, how bad that car was for him. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah.
There we are. So until next time, I'm Ben. He's Doug. Thanks for watching NasCanucks. Like, share, and subscribe. Happy racing, folks.
See you later, Marcus.